knowledge, leaking seeds, sowing, harvest, reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your herbs and teas at herbsofmyaunt.com. My Aunt Sons, the tea of teas, divinely prepared. And for your everyday musical stylings, be sure to check out bhbaymusic.com. And for that everyday Morris drip, be sure to check out moresachi.com. And also for your everyday essential items and Morris regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today. And without further ado, we introduce to you Sheikh Kareem Goodman Bey.
Peace, 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 peace. Noble B, peace, everybody. How y'all doing,
peace,
man?
Peace, Sheikh. Peace and love. Another excellent day.
Another excellent day, brother. Another excellent day. You know it. You know it. I feel good. I hope you feel good. I just hope everybody having an amazing day. Because here at the BBT, we always going to be good. We always going to be good. But I'm just setting up a couple things, man. I got this light is beaming back here today. So
indeed. So
apologies.
I was going to say we might as well get started with our Moorish American prayer and
Thank
our
you.
introduction.
Thank you.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Asha'ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace.
So far, introduction into the divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle, including the Moorish Salat. So, scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, the God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, whether regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490, BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahshua the Messiah, as he really is, and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not just a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man made in the image of God, to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title God as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim, manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1. To illuminate the student to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2. To form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah without distinction of race, nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. 3. To investigate the unexplained spirit law or the so-called law of nature and those powers latent in man. Aim 4. To encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern, practical, and occult sciences. 5. To remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Aim 6. To learn, to know, and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. Aim 7. To discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and his demons operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. Aim 8. To earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons and children of Yahweh. Aim 9. To make known that Yahweh, from the beginning, ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, aim 10. To inherit eternal life now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace. Gratitude, Noble Mufti Brian, for always eloquently explaining our aims and how we understand at the BBT. Like I said, we are the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and we operate on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We're not here to argue or debate any one religious perspective because we're not Orthodox. We're Tasawwuf, we're Sufi. Anybody that comes arguing with their religious perspective, I'm just going to block you because I don't have time for that. You can argue with those that argue, but I'm not going to argue with something that I know the average person don't know. I know this for a fact. When we're talking about scholarship and language, most of our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. When I talk about origin of everything, when I talk about etymology, and our people talk about etymology, origin, and you don't understand that, that means you don't have a clear understanding of anything. That means you're under a belief system. And right under the word belief is a word called belie, believing in things you can't prove. So we're not going to get into that, what these people be getting into arguing over man-made religion. We're not going to do that. And you didn't challenge academia to prove your point, like I did and others from scholarship, to make everyone sit on their hands, no matter what color they are. So we're just going to get into a little introduction of esoteric knowledge. I'm not going to get too deep in it. My muftis have this information because my muftis are students. I tell people I have my own charter. I have my own fraternal order. It means something. It means something. When I say I'm a fisher of men, when I'm a sheikh, when I'm a rabbi, I'm a priest, I'm a royal Moorish priest. I go to prison. I go to prisons. I'm able to do this stuff. Like I tell people, before y'all met me, this is my life. So it means something. You can't say you a sheik just with a title and you don't have brother. That's just like saying, I'm gonna use the vernacular, or I'm a pastor. Yeah, that's fine, but I hope you pastoring to someone. I hope you pastoring to someone. What's the use of a doctor if no one's sick? So when I be telling people it's levels of this, this is not a joke or no play. So I'm gonna deal with just a little introduction of esoteric knowledge, which I teach systematically with my students, which I have a full library. My mufti on here, Brian, he'll tell you I have over 1 million books and documents, and I still haven't introduced a lot of the wisdom to them because there's so much. They're learning as they go, but they're astute and they master teachers and they're master students. And I know for a fact that their intellectual capacity and their Holy Spirit it is from just me seeing how Moors operate, it can't be touched, especially with the understanding what all law would not be in prejudice and bias and can break it down to anyone and they'll listen. Why? That's knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom is universal. This is what I be telling people, man. It's like, oh, you don't want to be initiated? Or you don't want to be initiated into wisdom. Why not? So you want to be a regular rogue? I ain't say take no oath. I ain't say nothing secret. All my brothers is initiated. How? Through wisdom. The same way if I was your sensei and you want to learn sticky hands, Wing Chun, you're going to have to be initiated. How? Through the books. You ain't just going to be on Brian level because you know Brian. Well, oh, Brian is a 3-time black belt and now he's going to a different go. I would do that too. No, Brian been initiated. How? Through the sacrifice, through the dedication. What are you talking about? He a student and now he a master student. What are you talking about? Oh, you want to go on Amazon buy feds. You don't want to get it from a sheet. You don't want me to anoint it and write it and consecrate it and do my voodoo on it. You want to go to Amazon. You want to go to George Lottery for you can get it for cheap. But you don't want to support the ministry so brothers and sisters can do things for them funds can be circulated. Oh, you want to deal with these people that don't do nothing because they can sell it for cheap because they already millionaires. It don't mean nothing. You don't want to get it from your brother that produced this stuff for our culture. It means something. It means something. I ain't in this just to sell no items. Because I get the items for free. All my muftis got what I got. Why? Because I produce it. Come on, man. It's part of our culture. Everything they do is part of that they donate is part of their culture. That's why we tax exempt for the federal government. I'll be telling people what we can build our temple how? With the money we give Uncle Sam. You get a tax exempt receipt for your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And if you're doing ministry in there, doing things, you get in-kind service. That's how we build our temple. That's how we build our infrastructure. That's how we buy houses. That's how we buy businesses. People don't understand what I'm talking about. This is science. This is esoteric wisdom. We use this for power.
Yes, sir.
We use this for power. We ain't out here arguing, begging nobody, filling no whole bunch of paper out. That ain't what we do. We ain't no bums. We pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We know what we're doing. If you working, then you can support your temple. You can support the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. How? Because you're giving it to Uncle Sam. We have a full library with over 1 million books and documents. No one have to be in the unknowing and they on my page every week. Why are you into the unknown? Why are you dealing with fallacies? Why are you following all this stuff? Because you want to be led, because you're in the lower self, because it's entertainment. I have a full library to check everything. I have precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. I have all the information to fact check everything. Why wouldn't you want to deal with something that's valid? Tell me why not? Because you don't want the truth? You see what I be saying, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. The truth be standing us right in our face, and we'll still go with the fugazi. I'll be asking brothers, what's more science to you? What's the esoteric wisdom? It ain't arguing over nothing. When I say people use this for power, all lower level Masons, Manly P. Hall, everyone from the Philosophical Research Society, because I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society, it's more science. It is connotated in different verbiage. And it's only lower level science because all of them 32 and 33 degrees, with all due respect. All of them, all the European scholars and sages, they'll tell you that is more science. And our brothers and sisters don't even be listening. I said, I love my misnomer Prince Hall Masons. I love y'all, but I know it's a level that that your head ain't even been able to grasp yet. Why? Because you say you're a widow's son. That's why, with all due respect. So we're not even going to do that. Today is giving you a little bit of introduction of the basics, because I want to give you some basics. I want you to build your foundation on solid foundation. But first, you have to be able to get a flush and fill and reboot your hard drive, because you can't build on messed up foundation. You can't build on no fugazi. You can't build with some people and they out here got some plate with some 1099 on it. And these men grown as me or my age or older, and I done told y'all that ain't no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. That's a religious affidavit how the Moorish Science Temple of America was created. And then you see Moors out here with that on the plate like that means something. I say, man, what has happened to us? We got to stop that, man, because that's not wisdom. I'm getting ready to give you some wisdom. We're supposed to be philosophers of what? Nature. So when I talk about fundamental of the esoteric knowledge, I just give a little tittle, you know, when I talk about the philosophers of nature. What is it all about? How do we do these things? You know, and these classes comprise 12 lessons, which deal with a plethora of subjects. I'll just break a few subjects down. The first subject I'll break down with the student, I was able to go through these things in my initiation, was the basic esoteric principles and general principles of social and human behavior. Creation, the macrocosm nature, creation, the microcosm man. So when I talk about the big and the little, macro and micro, also dealing with finances, you got macro and micro. So also passive symbolism, active symbolism, AKA the word, numbers and cycles, meditation, prayer, rituals, also our powers, the secret sciences, but I don't like to call it nothing secret. I like to say sacred sciences. Also, universal justice, the 7 commandments of the family fraternities, and the service and the invisible order. So when I bring knowledge and wisdom to my brothers, the only person that can talk like this is a person that has his own charter. I ain't on my deathbed like I'm whistleblowing. I'm telling you what it is. I'm 99 degrees, ancient right, Memphis and Mizraim. I'm your brother. We're a group of brothers that operate the right way.
That's right.
You say what, Noble B?
I say that's right.
That's right. And if brothers really want to learn something, I can drag it out for 12 months. Just like when I help college students graduate and they like, man, this business class, it take us 3 months to do this. And you showed us this in a couple of weeks. Yeah. But I want you to get that education. I'm just showing you how to pass the class. Why? Because I know where you're going. Anything that you're trying to get, and I already have it, that with anybody with some sense would be like, whoa, this is my ally. Am I right, Brian? Because what I'm trying to get, he has, and he's willing to help me.
That's right. That's for sure.
Like, it don't even be making no sense. You know? And that's when I'll be asking brothers and sisters, are you really ready? You know, to understand this. You know, when I talk about the cyclopedias of esoteric knowledge, you know, just the basics, just springboards toward individual inner path. Why? Because apart from the material and the cultural aspects of esotericism, this type of wisdom offers a personal method of initiation that strives to death itself from ancient or modern egregores. This method, which includes meditation exercises, is based on a numeric and geometric symbolism of a universal nature, which, as a matter of fact, renders is less prone to the sway of the various egregores. You know, these styles, these lessons, like the condition, assist the student in acquiring the necessary inner freedom, because this is what you're trying to accomplish. And whoever takes this course, whoever takes on this task and does not wish to undertake the proposed initiatory work is free to act as you please. Like when I tell people, you don't want to abide by these, do what you need to do. Go do what you need to do. Like I tell you, men say things like you may have heard people say, well, the prophet said, go down to the city hall and get a marriage license. And you see that in that red book, Salvation. But then I'll give you letters and minutes from the prophet when he say, and I quote, eloquently with a silver tongue. You're supposed to go to your union with your sheik, and do that union. But if you don't want to abide by this, then you go down to the city hall and buy your wives. Because why would you put anyone in a third contract?
Come on.
That's just like getting the wheel. And I got the ayats, I got the minutes showing people that like, no, that's somebody else said that in that book, that's salvation. So that ain't nothing what the prophet said. When I be telling people, when I fact check things, our prophet was clear. That's why the marriage union is in our Moore's Quran.
Yeah, you got to study and show thyself approved.
Yeah, Brian. Why would your prophet, and we got our own bylaws and our religious laws trump everything? Why would I tell you today what I know? Why would I tell you to go to the city hall and get a marriage license? Then I'm gonna do the ceremony. Why? If you already done got the license, the ceremony is just a dang old party. You done got the license from the city hall. You done got a third. You done went through a third party contract. You see how people will make stuff up, Noble B? The prophet ain't said that come from a book called The Salvation. I know where it come from. I got all the documents. I got all the minutes. The prophet said in our Moore's Quran, which is the marriage union, how you go in with your sheik. And the prophet said, this is the instructions, the marriage instructions. But if you don't want to abide by to the words and my instructions, just like your mama tell you, whatever, go do your own thing and go down there and buy your wife. You see what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, it sounds like the issue is people be trying to mix truth and falsehood together.
That's why you have to get, when people be saying, oh, they went through the Adapt chamber, and I'll be like, what Adapt chamber you went through? What Adapt chamber you went through? Some semantics. Like you ain't been initiated to no wisdom. Adapt chamber, a phone call. Oh, so you went through the Adapt chamber on a phone call. Man, stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
That don't even make sense.
No. And then you look at these people's lives. This is what I be saying. If you so smart and so all-knowing, with all due respect, I have to ask your brother, why are you living with a chick on welfare? With all due respect. I'm not saying it like that, but when these people act like something is so great, and I said, but how can it be so great? And the woman that you with is on welfare in Section 8. As soon as you mess her life up, they about to put her out.
But you're not saying nothing wrong, because a man must be that which he knows. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you exhuming, it's a clear reflection of whatever you might have going on the inside. Maybe some things need to be fixed. Maybe some things can be fine-tuned. But we do got to look at ourselves and our own situations and, face that reality. Yes.
This is what I'll be telling more. I'll be like, whoa. I said, wait a minute. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the life. I said, no, this is not this. That's not how we roll. And that's showing not more science. That's not more science Temple of America. It's not. That's why when I tell people, when they say they teaching stuff, and I said, if you a sheik, you're supposed to be teaching people their nationality, that they not Negro, black, and color, etc. Now, any other thing that you teaching, that got to be your expertise. You just couldn't watch no whole bunch of videos and say, I'm a sheik, and you teaching people about how to be a criminal. Right. And then somebody like myself, not even myself, that have nothing to do with more science, that's a law student or this their profession, they can come and say, dude, everything you saying, you're gonna lead everybody into a burning house.
Come on.
Everything you giving, you think you got to wait for this long, but you on the internet, they can get you any day.
That's right.
I be showing these people this stuff. I said, you on the internet showing these people a plate with a 1099 on it? Like, are you really doing that? And Brian, we done had this discussion. We done showed this stuff like boot, but
and all they got to do is say play the tape.
Yes. So that's why this present lesson, what I give, brothers, you have to be able to get a flush and fill and reboot the hard drive, because the divine come first.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we get the national side, because the national side is already done. That's what people don't understand. Why? It ain't nothing that nobody can do today that's not already been done. You just don't even know. That's why I'm telling you, the stuff that these people doing is funny to me. Why? Because what you're doing, you don't have to do it. You don't have to fake to be like no one. The Amish don't pay. You don't have to fake to be like nothing. We the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. We already that. Everything that they saying what a person can try to do, we are already that.
Right.
Lawfully. in every state where my brothers are. We are already that. What would everybody be trying to front like that you can do? We already that. Why? Because the religious laws trump this. When you act as a body, as a religious body, duh.
Right. People just got to be informed and educated.
Brian, I can go deeper. When brothers be saying I'll tell y'all like this. I went to college for free. I ain't have to go get no type of financial aid debt and be all in debt like that. You know what? You know how I went to school?
Come on.
The Jewish Society.
Okay.
The Jewish Society paid for my college, all my college.
That's right.
All of it. So when people be saying, "Oh, education don't matter," and I say, "Well, what you want your kid to be? Don't you want your child to be the best that they can be? Any skill you got to do, you got to have some education. You got to." Now here it is. I'm learned and I'm proficient in a lot of fields and a lot of science, and I'm coming back to talk to my people, to reach my people. That should be worth something, because
it is.
Because, thank you, Brian. Because somebody that might not have your best interest, that had an education like me and this and that, and come and try to subjugate you, and then we can say, okay, well, let me call She Goodman Bay and see, and then I can stand strong, and we can go tit for tat.
Trying to tell you, save you time, which is really the most important, and money.
Yeah, we could go tit for tat. I can be like, give me the information. I can say, well, boom, 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 and you can be like, dang, that's facts. Why? Because I already done it. I already done it. I already done been through the lion's den. I already done did all that, all the stupid stuff that a person act like they want to do, change, all that. I just don't show it. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I done been through everything. My baby brother been murdered. My uncle been murdered. I saw my uncle get murdered. You know, my homeboy killed his brother. My big cousin was murdered in my homeboy in front of his house. I mean, come on, man. So I don't have time to be out here playing with nobody. I'm gonna tell you exactly the truth. Why? Because we supposed to love each other. It's enough fugazi going on. So if we're going to teach the science that can build brothers up. We're going to teach science that can help these young men and these young women, to show them when they look in the mirror, they something. Not to feel subjugated, not to let nobody that even look like them come with that. No, I don't care about nobody else. I'm talking about the ones, because that's where our babies going to get it from. They're going to get it from the ones that look like them. The other man, we ain't worried about. We got to protect what's in our house and separate from the stuff that's going on. And these lessons develops a knowledge which is neither alchemical nor Kabbalistic, but which is accordance with a knowledge coming from many years of operative work in these disciplines and others. Like I tell people, man, when I show you all these things and when I give you the wisdom, this is something that I acquired. I don't deal with specific one discipline. Remember, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. How can we be Sufis? How can we be Tasawwuf? My nobles don't gravitate to one science and miss the essence of the rest. Why would we? Why would we be that biased? We're not that crazy. We the people. We lovers of wisdom.
Come on, how you gonna meet somebody somewhere and you ain't never went nowhere?
Come on, B. Come on, B. But when we talk about things like this, we cannot avoid presenting elements which already exist in other realms. You know, when we talk about the philosopher or the stone, I'll be trying to show people concepts. And while you study, you do not lose sight of the fact that there are two complementary esoteric aspects: the intellectual aspect, which permits us to sow seeds into the unconscious, and the inner aspects, which is the source of the knowledge coming to you and I. And this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding can only be transmitted through the path said to be of the heart. Why? Because the closest place to find God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, is where, Brian? My noble must have left. It's in the heart. That's the closest place. That's the closest place, because there's nothing outside yourself. And there are these two tools to be used in the study of esotericism: the brain and the heart. The brain and the heart. The brain and the heart. That's the analogy in the Bible. What? Man is made in the image of the Creator, the most place and the holy place and a quarter round about. Everything in the physical temple that was built with hands is the physical temple that built without hands. So when you see the physical body, when you see man is made in the image of Elohim, I can build the whole body up from everything, from his internal organs to everything. This is what we're talking about. What? Man made in the image of the Creator, the tabernacle built without hands. What do we think we're talking about? There are two tools to be used in this study. You know, the brain and the heart. The brain sows, the heart harvests. Understand this science right here, my brothers and sisters. The brain sows and the heart harvests.
Come on.
Because I'm not gonna get too deep. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to how can I say it? Put you in a twister of the mental. So if I get a little bit too beside myself, let me know. Because what I'm speaking, I thought all sheiks knew this. What I'm thinking, I thought everybody was introduced to this. I thought this was a schoolmaster. I thought this was prerequisites. I thought. But like I say, you shouldn't believe in nothing. And I say, you should believe in things that I can prove. And that's what we're doing. So let's give you a little fundamentals of the esoteric knowledge. Out of unity, you arise. The return to unity is our destiny. The mind discovers the path of return, while the heart provides the key to each stage along the way. My brothers and sisters, these are basic esoteric principles. What are you saying, Sheik? Esotericism. What is it? What do we mean by esoteric? This is the first point that anyone need to examine. So when I talk about origins and etymologically, the word means inner, or that which is reserved for the adepts, for those inside, as opposed to which is public, which is done outside, and therefore is exoteric. Exoteric. However, this is clearly an insufficient definition to provide you with a satisfactory idea of the esoteric realities. We're just going to go a little bit. As we do not wish to use and pre definition per se, we should agree right at the beginning that it is impossible to define this term at this time, because the esoteric experience, which transforms and a priori definition into personally experienced knowledge, cannot be offered at the beginning of an initiatory path. Now write this word down, Priori. I hope y'all with me. See, when I talk about glimpses of the origin of the beginning, see, Brian, you're a person to tell you where their wisdom at when you use words and that get them caught up. I was teaching the other day and I said, man argue over religion. And I said, now, but a scholar can get with the origin and just have both of them sitting on the hands. And a sister said, oh, origin, oh, you wanted them, I gotta go. And the college student was on there from GCU. And one of the students is Chinese, with all due respect. He said, that had to be a black person. I'm cracking up. That's why I'd be laughing a lot of times, because people don't know I'd be having like 5 things up. He was like, well, that's the origin. He was like, that'll get you everything. He said, Sheik, didn't you play the little film of the young European boy when they asked him to spell niggas? And he asked for the origin. He asked for the etymology. Remember? Yeah. Now, here it is. Our own people do this. And I said, that's what we're dealing with. So you should never get into an argument or a discuss or something like that with someone. You just block them and let them be. It shows their lower aptitude. It shows something wrong with them. You see what I'm saying? Not you. Yeah. Think about this. So that's why I'm telling people to stay in your science. It's impossible to be a student and later an esoteric adept without accepting in the beginning several axioms. The truth of these axioms is progressively unveiled through inner contacts. That's why when I talk about things, Brian, and I'll be like, I say the heart ain't pure. And I say, I don't care what is attached. If the heart ain't pure, everything else is meaningless to me. Why? Because the heart ain't pure. Everything is attached. Everything you do is attached to your heart. Everything. Everything, what you do. Everything. If you profess this, if you are here professing this, what we professing, then everything is connected to your heart. You can't say, well, I believe what I do is. No, everything is connected to your heart. If you say that and you're doing something that's right, that's not right. That's why I don't deal with it and can't be around me. You know?
Islam.
And the first point, the absolute, is the origin of the whole. Once again, the first point, the absolute, is the origin of the whole. And the second point, the essence of the absolute, is the source of man. I hope you caught what she just said. See, I could stop right there, but then you will be like, well, what do you mean? You will want some explicitory words. You will want me to explain it, to give you a little body per se, because I said a lot in those two phrases. The third, the whole manifestation only has one aim. What is it to do? To make out of zero, which is the seed of man, in the absolute, the infinite, or the archetype per se, starting with the absolute, the hierarchy of forces and energies in a descending order. It goes as follows: being, consciousness, life, matter, fire, earth, air, river. The beginning issues from the void and creates consciousness. As soon as consciousness is, it creates life for its own need, for evolution, because there never was a time when man was not. We evolve. Our wisdom evolve. I'm not a martyr. I can reach back and add value too. It's worth something.
Islam.
The fundamentals of esoteric knowledge, just a tittle. Life creates matter as a field for the experiments it needs to conduct. Listen what I'm saying. These points will be developed in a later discussion. Keep that on your mind. Keep that in your hippocampus. That's why I tell brothers, if you're interested in this science, if your ear is here listening to the esotericism, it's because you have to feel a certain inner yearning, a certain necessity to understand things and to understand yourself. This yearning indicates that you have passed what? That initiation of the nadir, which we call the moment when involution leads you to the densest point of matter. Listen to me. This search for knowledge, for a coherent understanding of the world, cannot be satisfied by science or religion. Therefore, we turn to esoteric disciplines in the hope of finding the answer to our inner quest, which is more or less unconscious when it first arises. Because when I get into the Sephirots, when I get into the 7 seals, man, we unwrapping everything. My movies already know, like she teaching circles. He just unwrapping stuff for y'all. This is all respect. This is
right.
All love. It's like we've been here before. Huh, Brian?
Time and time again.
Come on, man. We've been here before, family. No, I'm just reading what somebody said. He said, damn, Sheik. That's crazy. I know, but it's all good. But life creates matter as a field for the experiments, y'all. It needs to conduct. So we got to understand that. the physical consciousness, and that super consciousness. The physical consciousness and the super consciousness. Knowledge. Physical consciousness and super consciousness. And see, this make-believe, as you grow into your understanding, as your brain grow, it should be replaced in turn by what? Knowledge. Because I know you don't still believe in that type of fairy that put the tooth under the bed. I know you don't believe in all these things no more. I hope you don't. So why would you pass it down to your baby? So why would you pass it down to your babies? Why? Oh, I want to deprive man. No, you don't. That ain't depriving your kid. That's teaching your kid values and morals. And if you want to help less fortunate, you help the less fortunate. Why? Because that's what we do. But we teach values and morals, and we stand on it.
Islam.
We show you how to develop that brain. We use this stuff for power, not to be on our knees. Kumbaya is not no come by here. Kumbaya, stand up and arise. Stand up and arise. But see, that's that tradition. That's that tradition. So when I talk about physical consciousness and super consciousness, because we got a little more time, in the esoteric sciences, regardless of your choice of discipline, we all must find our own truth by breaking through our inner barriers. And in a profane world, man's psyche is divided into two zones, which is the conscious and the unconscious. The later is not unconscious. In man, the unconscious is the super consciousness. The unconscious is the super consciousness. Watch this. The higher self, which is permanently in contact with the universal whole. The necessities of involution have constructed barriers which, in every being, separate more or less firmly, and the different levels of consciousness existing between the higher self and the physical consciousness. Therefore, the true initiation, the true aim of esotericism is to first render the barriers transparent and latter eliminate. You got to eliminate them as barriers, and then you must reestablish the connection with the super consciousness. I hope you're following me, because the intellect, which is a helper or an obstacle. What I just say? The intellect, is it a helper or is it an obstacle? See all these things, you have to use these for yourself. Why? Because if your wisdom, if your intellect is an obstacle, then what? Remember what I said, if your intellect is an obstacle, a lot of people intellect is their obstacle. I hope you catching what she's saying. The intellect is the first problem. Say what, Noble B?
Say Islam.
Yes, sir. The intellect is the first problem the beginner has to face. Every time I come with young brothers that want knowledge, and I say, dude, you just gonna get caught up in, oh, and I need to read this, I need this, I need to this, I need to get this, I need to do. I said, dude, brother, you in a hamster wheel. I understand excitement, but when the excitement over, boom, you flush out. It's like you start real fast and boom, it's over. That's what happens. I say, I know people be, oh, I need to fail, I need to turban, I need this, I need this, I need to get this, I need these books, I need to study. You at work talking out the side of your neck, you know? I see it. I said that ain't it. Some esoteric schools say it's an obstacle for the initiatory path, but we use it anyway. And the problem is that the knowledge and the methods which permit the penetration of the inner domain are transmitted and acquired through the channel of the intellect. And this problem becomes a real hindrance when the intellect ceases to be a medium and instead becomes a goal. or an end in itself. I hope y'all catching me. I hope y'all catching the words that are coming out of my mouth.
It's long. It's like knowing a bunch of stuff and really not applying it.
Yeah. Or then when I told you in Juristina language and dog Latin, posing something to people, knowing off the top it's not real.
That's
See, it
right.
go both ways, Brian.
What is it called? It's debased.
Come on, B. Come on, B. See, we'll get them. We'll get them good. You feel me, Brian? We'll get high by the words that come out by talking. When I be telling brothers, okay, I'll let you say everything. I'll write everything down, and then I'll just spit back to you. You know, you got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. I get you all wrapped up. Why? Because for you think you intelligent. You just get the talking. You see, B? Then when it's time to stand on it, you can't. It got to be clear. On the one hand, the language of the physical intellect, which sustains the consciousness of this world, is not the language of the super consciousness. What the same language you think in this type of science is not the same in this science. What in court? The same thing. Somebody jump on the social media saying they did this and all that. It ain't no precedent in law case. It ain't no doc number. Everything is Fuji dust. You know what Fuji dust is, don't you? Is that. On the other hand, if we wish to begin a certain dialogue between these two levels of consciousness, we must rely on symbolism, which is the only thing that can cross the inner barriers at the beginning of this path. Because you got to start at the beginning, y'all. That's why I tell people, like, what you mean? You can't explain it. What do you mean? When I was getting my undergrad from Clear University, I had to do a capstone. What's a capstone? I have to put in writing that I knew everything that I did through the whole class, through the whole semester. So if I got A on all the tests and the quizzes, then at the end of the class, I had to do a capstone. That's what I'm saying. Can you do it? Most people can't. I don't talk about every class. The principle of this dialogue, it goes like this. The intellect transmits or attempts to transmit mental images, such as its understanding them on its own level to the inner consciousness, and the latter digests them and sends them back while also striving to transmit its own truth to the physical intellect of man or woman. Thus, little by little, tittle by tittle, the effect of the inner barriers diminishes, and they can become open borders, which are crossed without a passport. And this implies that the work should be done methodically, or I like to use the word systematically. A map and a guide. What's wrong with having a map and a guide? What's wrong with that, my brothers and sisters? If you going somewhere and somebody been there and I say, oh, I can get you there, a map and a guide. When you go on a safari, don't you got a map and a guide? I mean, what?
Come on. Are you going to get lost?
I mean, how, Brian? Like, it don't even be making no sense to me with us. I got a little bit more because we got 10 minutes left and we out of here. I said I'm only going to do, like I said, the hour and we done. I'm going to keep it on that but we can get out of here. Conditions for esoteric work. It's time to do these things. I said I'm always going to line things up for you. The best time for this type of work, the best time for this esoteric study, a lot of times is in the evening, just before going to bed, when you cannot study. Then mentally and silently review the previous studies. This should be the last thoughts of the day before you fall asleep. Brothers and sisters, this is important because the moment of passage from the waking state to the sleeping state is the moment where the inner barriers partially move away in a physical, psychological, or how can I say it? This psychic sense per se. Conversely, when you wake up, the barriers rise in a physical, in a psycho sense per se. So you don't have to understand or think that it's a problem, or you do not think about the problem of the new day. When I always tell people the moment we worried about time, try to remain in the mentality void state for just a second so you can receive this inner message. Note your physical interpretation of the message in your notebook or your diary and put the date in it. Do these things. Note it down as soon as possible, because words are spells. Oh, you don't know how to cast a spell on yourself? Because I do. On me. That's why we work out. That's why we do things. We casting a spell. That's why I meditate and contemplate. Oh, you don't do that? So you definitely can't do nothing else for nobody else, because you ain't even in tune with you. Otherwise, the volatile knowledge evaporates and it disappears. I like to use the analogy of atrophy. Those muscles, begins to deteriorate. What I'm saying from a practical view, brothers and sisters, the notebook is useful to divide this notebook into 7 sections. I'm giving you keys. I hope you're writing this down. The first section is dedicated to the period from Friday night to Saturday morning. The next section to the night of Saturday to Sunday, and so on and so forth. Each Friday night, meditate on the experiments of the first section of your book. Each Saturday night on the ones of the second section of your book. And you're going to notice that the knowledge written on the same nights, those of the same sections of the notebook, is complemented each week. And then you're going to check and see. You're going to check and see if the experiments on the same nights of the week do not follow a linear cycle. This point will be developed further in my teaching. You're going to shout, and you're going to see why the night of Friday to Saturday is the holy night, and consequently the first night of the esoteric week. I got 2 more and we out of here, because I got 8 minutes. The oratory. An oratory is very useful in esoteric work. It can be a small room or a place in a room or a closet, even a suitcase per se. And this room only becomes an oratory at the moment of esoteric, inner and outer work that you do. Stay with me. The mental attitude of the student creates the oratory. It is better to be alone to do the work that needs to be done. At the most, your mate can be present. No animal should be allowed in the oratory doing the work. No matter what relationship you have with some pets, animals have not passed the natter initiation, and therefore the cosmic pressure in them, in the reverse of the one exerted on those who work esoterically. So when we're dealing with the occult forces of dogs particularly, and even more of the cat per se, which were used in Egyptian magic, can only bring trouble to those who do not master them. So when people be playing, I'll be like, you ain't mastered them, you playing. The reverse happens. And if the oratory is a room with multiple uses, the pet can be allowed in, but put outside during the hours of this type of work for all my pet lovers. I'm just letting you know. So I give y'all a little sacredness and we done, because we got 6 minutes left. A lot of people call stuff secrets, but remember, it's nothing secret with me. Nothing. Sacred, yes. At one time, it was very intense watchfulness to make sure that the law of secrecy was enforced. And it was feared that personal initiation would shatter temporal power. And there are still a number of erroneous ideas about the law of secrecy. The fact that its reality is so misunderstood is the source of the troubles of modern society. Because sometimes it's good for things to be secret, so you don't want it to be put in the wrong hands of people. And if the esoteric reality had actually been more widely distributed, it could either have given birth to a philosophy religion, or it would have forced exoteric religions to consider their dogmas. And in both cases, the compatibility of science and religion would have been greater, materialism less pronounced, and the current types about life and death considerably diminished. that anxiety that it creates. This anxiety is based on many current problems. When we talk about the law of secrecy, it's used by many pseudo masters, these so-called gurus and others, as means of hiding their ignorance, of giving themselves importance, while remaining quiet about their very modest knowledge, or allowing people to believe that they are the only ones granted the authority to open or close the gate of the temple. And this is the negative aspect of secrecy. There's nothing secret with me. It's sacred. That's why I talk freely. I tell people I can speak like this because I have my own charter. When I was in academia, they tried to get me. I told y'all, like, no real societies don't want no jackleg off the streets. Only thing you would be is in a game. And then when a God man come, I can show you that all those signs and symbols belong to us. So I can straighten your crown up as well. Well, I don't care if you Crip, Blood, Pyru, all that. I'm gonna straighten your crown up and show you what these signs and symbols are about. Why? Because this is a growth and development, and all our brothers got to come together and and straighten our crowns up and understand who we are as a nation. So I'm giving a little bit of esoteric wisdom, and we out of here, Noble B. But we state that everything which can help, everything which leads to the gate of the temple, can be and should be revealed to anyone who wishes to advance on the esoteric path. It is also understood that he or she should work and in turn share the information with others. And that was the oath that I had to sign. What? To share this. My tassel ain't pinned down. That's why I do these. Like I said, I operate for donations. You don't have nobody have to pay nothing. I have members. I have a brotherhood. We taxes them for the federal government. We getting ready to get our first brick and mortar in my city of Flint, Michigan, with a library and a community center. And all people got to do is donate, and everybody get a taxes receipt. Everybody will be stakeholders. It'll be our temple. It'll be our place. We'll be able to do what we need to do. We'll put our flag up right in the city. I'm telling you, it's no secret. But they call it the secrets which were unveiled. I'm telling you, all the secret societies, man, it's been revealed. The prophet did it. I've done it. Indeed, didn't it say, "Give and thou shalt receive"? Don't the text say that? The secret which were unveiled. That's why I said the seal is broken. I got the key. That's what I be telling people. What's the key? Indeed, it said, "Give and thou shalt receive." That's the key. So when I acquired the wisdom, when I acquired the knowledge, when I became who I am, I said, "Oh, I'm bringing this back to my people." But what they said, and your people will do what? Receive you not. Not all, the right ones. Because see, we've been going silent like they say you a clean glass sheet, and now it's happening. And now it's happening. Community, I got a group of people that's rocking with us, and you can too. So there is no problem. There's no problem created in revealing alchemical, Kabbalistic, or initiatory secrets, because they can only be used practically by those who have attained the proper inner state. That is, by whoever is already engaged on the path of wisdom. And on the other hand, the inner experience, or that which the initiate finds behind the veil of the temple, should remain secret. Everyone should find it on your own. It is indeed a supra-intellectual knowledge, which can only be expressed by the word and not by human speech. An attempt to transmit our own inner revelations to another will burden you with a responsibility you may not be in position to assume. Moving the veil of the temple for someone else demonstrates a lack of wisdom, which definitely slows the student down on the path, or the author. So what I'm saying in summary, brothers and sisters, do not hide the processes which lead to knowledge, but keep very quiet about the nature of the experiment and the experiences which result from the access to the knowledge. And a similar rule can be observed in the profane world, where without playing with the secret, discretion and reverse are often necessary for two very different reasons. First, in blindly entrusting people with our projects and intentions, we take the risk of triggering negative actions from those who would want to destroy us. We should therefore be watchful. And lastly, second, the fact of speaking about difficulties in work, finances, health, engages the power of the word. And the problem then crystallize. Y'all may hear me talk about things crystallize and what come into fruition, become fixed, more complex, and harder to resolve. So avoid giving them much force through speech or even through writing, which also has the same effect in this domain. You see? So I'll stop right there because I don't want to go too far. I've been going for an hour and that's it. But I got a lot more to go, like knowledge and freedom. It go hand in hand. And I'll just stop right there, Noble B. And I want to say gratitude for everybody that was here, that took the time out today to listen to this little introduction of esoteric wisdom, which we have a plethora of wisdom here at the BBT. And we always tell people our doors are always open to true seekers, no matter what you profess. Because see, at the BBT, we a group of brothers. We a group of brothers and sisters that don't argue over sciences. Because I know most of us are operating on what we believe. And that's okay. I know most of us don't interpret language and don't have the lexicons to be manufactured with what we professing, and that's okay. But if we are a people, we should have something that we agree with. And that's knowledge and wisdom in who we are. Because no one is trying to convert anyone to something. We have one nationality and many cultures. And what's been taken from us from slavery is our nationality and our spirituality. So if we understand our spirituality, then we should agree on who we are as a people. And that's the only way we get those 2/5 that was taken from so-called slavery. We have to agree with that. But I don't understand why people hate the concept of Moor and Moorish. That's very, very, to me, is disheartful. Because that's the only thing you can see on paper, Noble Brian. You know, from history, from 1985, the Declaration Proclamation, from what Noble Drew Ali did, from being recognized. I'm not talking about all that mixed stuff, cut down the cherry tree and all that. I ain't whatever. I'm talking about, I'm from Flint, Michigan, man. We got the Moorish Science Temple of America on Martin Luther King Avenue, even though the brothers ain't operating right. But I'm showing you the historicalness of what the prophet did. Teaching people we not Negro, Black, and color and African Americans, stuff that's in the city hall, been there since before our parents, saying that we not Negro, Black, and colors, we Moors. We got our Declaration of Proclamation. Where? In the city hall. In the city hall. So when I be telling people I'm down with reparations, but no NBC is going to get nothing. Those all synonymous to slaves. I don't care if brothers hire Ben Crump, that brother that the lawyer for everyone. He know he's gonna lose, but he's gonna win because he's gonna get paid regardless. Why? Because BLACK has no rights in the courts. It's civiliter mortis, dead in the eyes of the law. And the only one that ever got paid for SLAVES is the body that created SLAVES, and that's a fact. And nobody should have a problem with what we're saying. We should want to be educated on these things. No one is telling you to turn your back on Yahshua the Messiah. No one is telling you to turn your back on things if that's what you want, because we understand all the laws and the prophets, Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, whatever. I have a clear understanding, but when we get the scholarship, then you're going to have to really sit on your hands. And if you're a Mason or a lower level Mason or 32 degrees, you're going to have to sit on your hands too. With all due respect and love. Why? Because the Pantheon is coming and I have your charter and all the language that I'm talking is all on your table. You just don't know this. With all respect and love. I'm coming as your brother. I'm coming as Melchizedek. I'm coming as your brother with the keys, with no disrespect. I'm bringing you up like, man, put that widow son down. You're not no widow son. Don't do that. What you mean I'm not no widow son? If the other man tell you that he or she is a son of a Muslim, why in the brain would you think you a widow son? Just think for a minute. Okay, the other man said that they a son of a Muslim, and I say I'm a widow son. You ain't thought about that?
Come on.
especially my empress. I don't just get on them, and I get on my empresses too. I said, come on, I understand. Our prophet said we're not responsible for what we didn't know. But now we know we got to give all that back and straighten up your crown. You're not no Eastern star. You a star of the East. Why? Because your pentagram ain't perfect. You're not operating on no perfect penta. Look at it. Your pentagram is turned. You're not arm, leg, arm standing up with a perfect pentagram. You got horns up top. Don't be mad at me. And it's under the DAR. That's where the marriage license come from. Do you know what the DAR is? The Daughters of American Revolution. That's why, and the Prince Hall stuff is all mystic. With all due respect, I love my brothers and sisters. My dad here tell you. He'll tell you. He know. Only person that can talk like this is the person that love you. Because if something was so good for us, why it ain't freely talked? Why it ain't talked to the babies? Why the men ain't going to the schools, getting the young men and having junior nobles or junior masons and junior Eastern Star? Why we ain't changing over? If this is so powerful, what's the big secret? I'm telling you the secret. The big secret is you. The big secret, you the secret. You the secret. The feds is you. And if you want the real knowledge about the feds and the turban and your chiefdom and standing up erect, it's right here. I have my own charter and my fraternal brotherhood. This is what I'm telling people. It's no secret. You want to learn the Sifriats? I'll teach it to you. What you want to learn? This is what I'm telling people. Like, it's no secret. We have to stand up. We have to agree. We have to walk out the house in solidarity. This ain't about proving nothing or arguing with no one or on the corner dressed up like Trans or Z, arguing with people. That ain't it, because we can go through the biblical text and a lot of stuff these people talk about is not even valid. It's taken out of context, and a lot of times you don't know because a lot of people talk over your head because they're trying to prove a religious perspective. More science is not no dogma. More science is not orthodox. All my nobles understand they're under the triple rose. They have a clear understanding of the Fatimid, the Jerusalem, and the Paraclete. All my muftis have a clear understanding, and we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. My brothers are not biased or prejudiced, but no one's going to tell them something outside themselves when they can eloquently explain it with a silver tongue what the scriptures and the text is all about. We won't argue with that. Why? Because that's exoteric, and it's nothing to argue about the exoteric. But at the same time, as you continue to do that whole arguing, my noble gonna say, yeah, we hear you. That's just exoteric. What you mean? The basic reasoning or thought process that everybody like this believe. That's the esoteric. So you got to agree with that. Yes, we're not gonna argue with you because the common man is gonna believe the same thing you believe. That's why it's called exoteric. If it wasn't called exoteric, then it'd be called something else. But in this context, what I'm saying, the average person is gonna believe how you believe.
For the public.
You see, B?
Yes, sir.
So as we close, we're not against rap. We're not against rappers, but we are against those stuff. But real talk, man. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day, man. You know, love is an action word, and we all about that action. Hit us up, but we have everything you need. Once again, we have a full library, and nobles, we're trying to build our first brick and mortar in our city of Flint, Michigan, and all donations accepted. You get a tax and receipt. I'll give you gifts, but hit us up. We got everything for our culture. Fezzes, turbans, everything. And I have a warehouse as well. I can show y'all what I got coming. That's not on the page yet, but do business with us, man, because this is part of our culture. And we love y'all, and thank you, Noble B, for taking time out your day to run the stream, y'all, man. Gratitude to you, and gratitude to you as well from the beginning. Trusting your brother, man, being with us all this time, man, all these years. Peace and love, Noble Dantes, to you, man, and your family, my brother, man. Just gratitude to everyone out here. Gratitude to everyone on TikTok that took the time to listen to the little old me. And man, I'm passionate of what I talk about. I don't want no one to get in trouble with this fugazi. That's why I speak how I speak. That's why I'm matter-factual of everything, because I was challenged in academia and I had to be matter-factual. And I spoke just like this. My whole life, my whole adult life is ministry. Before all this more science that I was speaking on social media, I always been in ministry, and I always talk the truth. All you got to do is Google me. You will see. You'll be like, this man been standing on this for a long time, doing what he say in the city of Flint, Arizona, and Vegas. And like I said, my passion is for the people. And I won't never say I don't need the people, because everything we doing is contingent on y'all. And I know we can do something. I know that. I just know this for a fact, B. We can forget all what these people did to scam us. Why? Because they did that from the jump. They ain't scam you, they ain't scam me. But when people say they're gonna do something and don't do it, that's because their intentions wasn't right from the jump. They nothing changed. That's who they are. And when they got the funds, exactly who they are came out. No intention on doing this. It was a whole intention to con the people. Think about it. Because people like myself and Brian, we do this. We're gonna always have a body of work, of teaching and lecturing, and in real life. So once we get our infrastructure and all this, I'm connected to people. I'm alumni. I'm from the city of Flint. I know how to get computers and stuff donated. I know how to have people donate their time to assist our spiritual body, and I can give them taxes and receipt, and it can be like in-kind service, and that can be the community service to the community, and it can go both ways. And that's how we build in our neighborhood. And we have what? A Moorish community of brothers and sisters. When I say Moorish, I'm talking about a culture. I'm talking about a culture. I'm talking about young men having courses at a young age, young empresses having courses at a young age of Moorish culture. So when I say Moorish culture, how to eat, financing, working out, their history. What you mean? All the history, antebellum, the dark ages, medieval, all those type of things, growth and development, agriculture, economics, micro and macro. That's what I'm talking about. Moorish culture, understanding who they are, showing the young girls how to sew, showing the young boys how to sew if they want to, knowing how to garden. Moorish culture, all these things, so we can teach group economics. And we want those kids to go to college and do all these things if that's what they want to do. We want the young kids to get these type of skills. We want the brick masons. We want the ones going to go in politics and all that. Why? Because that's what we teaching them at a young age. Why? If we know all this, just imagine what we can do with the babies if we grab them. Listen, once we get the temple and I show y'all what we doing for prevention to get all these kids off the streets, because I already done seen the key. I done seen it. I said, oh, something missing. What? Me and my brothers and my muftis, that's missing. And when we get this, and when the city give us this grant and they let us hold these kids when we get our temple, y'all gonna see a big difference. Y'all gonna see kids with turbans and feathers on their heads. Young men, they gonna and looking just like you, all the way different. You're gonna see turbans and feathers on these babies' heads. Why? Because they see me. I'm telling you, I'm in my city of Flint. I already got Brian, the impact is ridiculous. Everywhere I go, the kids like, oh, we follow you on the social media. Man, this, not, and the other. Are you going to open up a temple in school in here? Kids be having me tearing up. You hear me?
They ready.
I'm talking about in the city. I'm talking about in the city of Flint. I'm like, oh, I see the difference. And I'm telling them, I said, man, I went to school with some of y'all mom and them. I said, if your parents them support this, not, and the other, they get the taxes and receipt. And most of these kids going to college, they understanding it. And so I'm like, wait a minute, they understand it, because we have the community college here. So if a lot of kids don't go away to college, Brian, they go to University of Michigan, Flint, or they go to Mott Community College. And so I frequent them places every day, like 3 days a week when I'm home, because I went there. And so I just be going there talking to students, man, showing what I'm doing. They ask questions. And so I'm telling us, man, I'm just inspired, man. I'm just so ecstatic, man, once we continue to learn, because Brian, we can't be upset at nobody for what they don't know. That's why I don't have a problem with teaching and showing brothers over and over what we can do. That's why I say I know words and spells. We done been said we can't do nothing. We done been told we this and that and the other, and we all just jumped out some boat, all that stuff, and that stuff's not true. We can do some of the most amazing things. How? Especially when we say we need our temple in school, and I'm right here anointed and consecrated, and all it takes is the people. We have a full library. We have everything for our culture. We have physical trainers. My noble Malik just got on here. He our personal trainer. My noble Lamarck do it through the week. He do it on the weekend. My noble Brian is an artist. He do music. We can show kids how to do all this stuff. I'm an author, a personal trainer. I know all about herbs and things. We can show these things. My Mufti Maso is a herbologist and a stretchologist. My noble Alonzo, he does computer programming and all this stuff. Come on. Look at all these skills and these assets, and then we would be big brothers to boys and girls. My noble Malik is a basketball high school coach. My noble Lamarck is a college and high school and pro ref. Look at all this stuff that we have. I study Wing Chun and sticky hands. I can teach the basics to kids. Like, we have a lot that come with us, and we can teach our babies the 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs. We don't take them from a school. We want them to go to school. We give them 7th hour. We give them 7th hour, the same way my Jewish professor and them did before they got their big temples and they after school places in Arizona. They had 7th hour at their temple and school, and then they continued to build. And that's what we have at our temple and school. And when the kids out of school in the summer, you will be able to bring them there. And then we'll be able to buy big gardens. We have 10 acres in Kingsman, Arizona, family. We have 10 acres, myself and my muftis. We willing to partner with people to share pieces of these acres with people. So you can have something, so we can grow, so we can put our big greenhouse on it and we can put a structure on it. It can be something for us. We have 10 acres. And if everybody be saying they want to do this, well, we can do something. We can have a big meeting. We can meet in Vegas, everybody, and be like, okay, we can meet on the land. Me and my muftis can show y'all what we got, and so everybody can get a couple acres or a piece of acre here, where you can have your nice little garden or grow whatever, and we all can co-op, put our nice little structure on there, and then we rock and roll. We can put a big Amish style a structure on that mug right on our land. Boom, with our garden, with our greenhouse. Boom, it could be a livable place. It could be a summer retreat. And we can all be stakeholders. Think about this, the dynamics, what we can do, because we already got the land. We already established as a spiritual house, so we tax exempt for the federal government, religious and charitable and contribution wise. So that means people can donate. Think about the power that we already have. And then in our urban communities, I show people how to buy property under what? Your religious and charitable contribution. And a lot of them will donate it. A lot of the city in the urban neighborhood, they'll donate it to the organization to get it off their books. How I know? Because that's how I acquire land in my city of Flint. I deal with land bank. I go down there, tell them what I'm trying to do, tell them my organization. They look it up. I have one of my organizations established in my city of Flint. So when I apply to get homes and things, I'll be like, hey, I want to have these for low income families, kids that might be in foster care and this, that, and the other, or older kids that may need this, brothers getting out of the prison. I'm going to use those for this type of thing. But I want to have a community. In my city of Flint, Michigan, we have side streets. It's streets with no houses on both sides. That's why I want my muftis to come to my city of Flint, man. If I buy this whole block, that means it used to be like 8 houses on this one little block and about like 8 houses on the other side. Man, we can buy the whole block and then it'd be private. Our whole block, imagine that in our city of Flint, because that's what's happening right now. And this is the time to buy. And we structure in a certain way where we can do things. We can have community gardens, man. And the money that people giving away, it can be given to here. You can get a taxes and receipt. And that's how we build infrastructure. I'm just giving y'all a crash course, but I can teach more specifics about this. That's what we're here to do at the BBT. Because I'm not interested in arguing with no one, trying to sell nobody nothing fake or nothing. I said, if we're going to talk about things in community and building and having our own infrastructure in our libraries and building our 7th hour until we're able to have our own charter schools, then I think this is the best plan. Why? Because we already operating. I already have a library. I'm already anointed and consecrated. I'm already historic. I already do this in real life. We already got brother. We already own land. We established. I have a mentorship program under my nonprofit that we mentor kids. I work with ADHD and autistic. All my brothers work with youth and things. We have a whole body. And so all I'm just saying is throwing my net out to everyone to come on in, man. Get with us. I promise you, it's going to be something good for all of us, and everybody can be a stakeholder of what we got popping off. So with that being said, man, y'all see my information going across the screen. Get with me. I love y'all. Brian, you got anything? Dantes, you got anything?
Just once again, gratitude for the light and the illumination. My bad, Nova Dantes. I ain't mean to cut y'all.
No, go ahead, Noble Brian.
No, I was just going to say gratitude for the light and illumination and the everyday consistency and the love. Just gratitude for the plethora of information and the wealth of information that we do receive here. Gratitude for the application. Gratitude for the examples. Just much thanks, man.
Man, thank you too, man.
It's long. Definitely gratitude for the example, the continued example, just the messages and the lessons that we get throughout the week. Just gratitude and honors for everything that we get here at the BBT sheet. Just gratitude for another one. It's long.
Man, gratitude to y'all, man, to be able to do this, man. Like when people say gratitude, a lot of times they don't understand the gratitude that I have to be able to do this, because it make me feel good, because I know I'm doing something, and the stuff that we doing gonna change lives. The stuff that y'all doing gonna change lives. I know it, because this stuff, a lot of stuff, like my professor said, no one's gonna know unless you give it to them. They're like, how somebody gonna know the stuff you talking about and the wealth of information that you would introduce to if you don't introduce it to nobody else? You want to die with all that? You want to die with all that knowledge and didn't give it, no matter if the millions and millions didn't come, but you'll live a good life. The millions may come if everything go the right way, which it should. But it was like, come on, how people gonna know if you don't give it to them with everything that you know, with all the stuff that was introduced to myself? And I still got more. So a lot of stuff I know I'll be sending y'all. I know y'all be like, where the hell? He be thinking of finding this stuff at, because I was introduced to stuff. I got a whole diary from my professor, with books and things. It's a briefcase. It's old in the mug with all esoteric books, for I can download and everything. And that's how I show y'all all this. I said I was introduced to this. I didn't just wake up and know how to find all these books and these topics and like I'm just sitting home, nudie. Come on. That have to be a profession somebody love, and I love it. Man, it's too much. Like I only done did 1 million something. It's like millions and millions. You got to remember a professor that was a professor at GCU for 40 years. You hear me? For 40 years. All the information and all the books that I got in my storage unit that was passed down to me, all of expensive books that I'll be showing, it's like, come on. I was like, man, it took some work. It took years of me at the library studying and converting these things the same way Google did. Remember, I told y'all Google spent $25 million converting books to PDFs. Once I found that out and I did the dissertation of that, I said, I got to do this too. So that's what inspired me as well. How? Where I can build my catalog and I can reconstruct the world with my people. With what? With the wealth, the wisdom. We can have our e-library, our ebook library, and we can print and bind as we go. Like my Noble Dantes do with binding books, because he print and bind the expensive and rare books if people want them. We got books that cost thousands of dollars, and so he'll print and bind a book for a couple $100, and you get a taxes and receipt. Why? Because this is part of your temple and school, and you got the information. That's what we do. That's how we do. We do business with each other. So we hope people do business with us. We will hope people just inquire and hit us up. Don't go make nobody else rich. We done made these individuals rich. They don't donate to our community, but they have all the things that we want. That's how we support other communities. I got everything for our community. I don't mass produce it like that, because I know multi-billionaire. Once I come, then everything will be like that. But we have to be able to make funds and do this. Why? So we can use some of these funds to build our temple. We have everything for our community. All these other places just get to sell it real cheap. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But they can't give you a taxes and receipt. Why? Because it ain't about their community. It's just an item. You're just a consumer. When you're dealing with me personally, it's part of your science. Think about this. That's why I want people to be part of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple in school. Why? All brothers and sisters that say they more. Why? Because the value of supporting your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. The value when it's set up, you don't have to give your funds to Uncle Sam. You can support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And when you do that to that body, look, just so happened that body have this own regalia store. That body have its own bookstore. So when you donate everything for your culture, you don't have to pay for it. Why? Because she's going to give it to you. Why? Because he have much gratitude for you donating and supporting the temple. He's going to give you books. Ain't he, Brian? He's going to give you fez and kufis. He's going to give you tunics and all this. We come with all of that. We have our temple in school and all this regalia that other people might come in our store to buy, in the community that like our culture, that's not part of the temple in school. Then of course, they come buy it. Where? From us. We have the print presses and all that stuff. This is the concept. This is community where we can see our funds. Nobody should be going to AMAZON, getting nothing for our culture, fizz and turbans and kufis. Why? Nobody should be going to the fraternal store, Joy Lottery, buying all that stuff. Why? And they get their fizzes from the same place I get mine from. Everybody should be dealing with a sheet. And I'm going to give you a turban every time you get a fizz. And I'm going to show you how to tie the turban. And I'm going to give you some gifts and some books, along some ebooks. No one can do that. This is what I'll be telling brothers. We're supposed to support our temple and our school and our body to have everything we need for some of those funds can be used to go to build our infrastructure because we need it. I'm telling you, and I know we do. So with that being said, I know I went over, man. Take us out, Brian. And I love y'all, man. Peace.
Peace. Love you too, Sheik.
Can you give us our Morris American prayer?
You know it.
And our benediction? If anybody got our benediction?
Yes, sir.
Gratitude. Can you give us our Morris American prayer and our benediction, maybe?
Will do. Allah,
Thank you.
Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Alakim, Ayah Asha'ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace, peace.
Now for our benediction. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brother, and do thy best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that ye may nourish the souls of men. Let the truth be the shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. Know that thou need not to pick the locks to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconstancy, there is still a greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Islam, Amen, Hotep, peace, 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 peace,
peace, peace. Hey, if Malik was here, he'd be saying El Rahman, El Rahim, Elijah, peace, 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 peace. I love y'all, man, with all my heart, man. Love y'all, man. Peace.
Islam, love you too.
Gratitude.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager meaning. I have yet.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Spade at bhspademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking